Now we do some concentration practices again. Simple. First of all, Baba gives us the details of the things that ultimately we have to have yoga with and about. No? But they are such, first of all, we are not familiar anymore. I mean, the memory has gone way, intellect has become clogged, and the memory has become, how to say, faded. So Baba comes and tells us again. And we need to understand accurately as Baba means it, not how I want to perceive it with my bhakti mixtures and whatever, but to try and grasp it as Baba means it and churn on it. And also as Baba's churning, how Baba would churn. And then use it in my yoga, use it in my meditations. Because Baba often stresses that the real word is remembrance. I mean, there are all other fancy words, meditation and yoga, but the real word that Baba mainly likes is the word remembrance. Now, remembrance implies that you know it. You know it, but that memory needs to be woken up. It needs to be revived. It needs to be brought back into the conscious mind. Now, if we know it, if it is there, we need triggers to remember it. And those triggers need to be the accurate triggers. If they are not accurate, then that memory is not, what is the word? Remembered, revived, brought back to the foreground. No, we give sometimes this example. Say you had a grandfather when you were small, and your grandfather was a tall man, and he was thin, and he had a lot of hair, and he used to sit with you at night and play and read you stories. But he passed when you were young, so you kind of forgot about him. You kind of vaguely have some memories, but you forgot about him. Now, at some stage, you ask your mother, Ma, how was Grandpa? You want to remember. So, what you do to remember, you find out how he was. No? So, your mother will tell you he was tall, he was thin, he had a lot of hair. And he used to sit at night with you, play with you, talk, read stories. And then maybe she will show you a picture. See, this is him, remember? So because of that information, there is more and more chance that you wake up that memory and you start experiencing it again. Now, if your mother tells you or somebody else tells you your grandfather was a short, fat Chinese Chinese guy, short, fat, and he was never around at night. So she tells you that, but that will not wake up your memory. Now you can start visualizing a short, fat Chinese guy and having some whatever affirmations about it, and then that becomes like a living memory in your mind, but it is not accurate. That is not who your grandfather is. Now, this is what Bhakti has done. Bhakti has painted a picture about God which doesn't match the deeper experiences, definitely not of the Brahmin soul, or it is incomplete. It doesn't wake up. So now our concentration practices, as Baba means it, they have to be based on accurate understanding with the aim to wake up the memory of that is there in the soul, but it needs to come to the foreground. And so we use the description and the analogies and the imagery that Baba has given. And you churn on that. You grasp it, you churn on that, and you hold that in your mind until it becomes a deeper experience, and that experience wakes up the eternal impressions that are there and the original impressions. And so it is very understandable, not understandable, it is very true. Your bedroom is much more obvious to you, and because your mind has been in that environment for a long time. And we continue to carry that in our mind. And those ancient, old, subtle, that is way back. And this is why it is connected with our lifestyle. And this is also why it is not just a morning time practice and that's it. The rest of the day I go about my gross things. Our intellect need to become more and more refined, find our mind to become more and more refined, also for us to grasp that memory again. This is why all the things like maryadas and even more subtle maryadas about how you dress and things with makeup and all of that, and how we interact with each other, no familiarity, because that keeps us at a gross level. And our gross mode of functioning and operating will not allow that more subtle, refined memory to surface again. Does it make sense? Bhakti so much in it. Or some of us mix bhakti and because even in bhakti we had experiences, no? In bhakti we also had experiences, and of course we attributed them to God or to whatever deity or whatever prophet or whoever we were kind of worshipping. And those experiences can block us from the real thing.
What I was going to say is that that's what Baba was referring to in the Murli today, by having all relationships with one.
Mm-hmm.
And the the analogy with the food I get, where you begin to withdraw from, a lot of unnecessary connections that would keep you in well, not angelic, but more maybe ordinary is the word. But yeah, so
Baba's word is bhogi.
yeah,
Yeah, which is not ordinary. It just means slave to sense pleasures.
So and I guess it would happen naturally. Um, the more remembrance you have, the less you'll have need for those, unnecessary connections and all of the other camaraderie that you'd move away from.
Mm-hmm. Let's have one exercise at this moment, and it's good not to start simple. Keep with simple things to increase the refinement. So just the awareness of the self as this invisible living light. No, there is the body, there is, there is this body, And there is this bodily world, and there is sound and movement and other bodies and objects. It is all there. And all of that is at a physical, tangible, gross sense level, physical senses level. But the one who is experiencing everything is this invisible presence, a living light. And not just some picture or a image of a star. No, this is a living being. This is you, the real you. And instead of thoughts going to the body and the role and the time and the things around and breakfast and whatever, coffee, tune into this being of light. Turn your attention. This is what they say, turn your attention inward. This living being who's playing the part, and this being innately innocent, childlike, lovely. And to start with, the immortal. This is the real you. This is the only you. And the image of the star may help, or the image of light, but understand the personality of the soul who is awake to being a soul. A being of refined nature. Child of God. And drama going on, whatever, some calamity, some party, some excitement, some illness, all kind of thing in the drama. But drama is like a film, a play. The timeless living light is eternal. It's not a it, is you could even say like a person of light. With a personality. Like an angelic, royal being, child of God. This is the real self. This is the only self ever. Everything else is false construct of ignorance in different degrees. Just try and grasp this invisible, immortal, imperishable pure, being of light. The body is separate and extra. To exist, soul doesn't even need a body. This pure, pristine being of light needs nothing ever to exist. Exists eternally. Being of peace, eternally secure. Childlike, godlike, innocent, egoless, bodiless, playful, and peaceful. Timeless, living being of light. In the image of a tiny, tiny, tiny point like a star. Yes, we choose to come again into sound and action and hold this awareness of the living light. Living light making the mouth speak using the vocal cords. The being of light sitting behind the eyes, using eyes as windows to see this strange, gross world. Tiny, living, godlike star, using the ears to hear all the noise and the commotion of the Iron Age scenes. The living light using the tongue to taste salty, sweet, cheese, coffee, all the Iron Age goodies. Maya's paradise. The baits from Maya's paradise. Huh? Maya's heaven. When you go in the supermarket, Maya's heaven, 20 brands of everything. And the living light is kind of amused and amazed. Oh, all of this commotion and excitement and busyness. But the living light, the being serene, just amused by the drama scenes. It just takes a second to shift that awareness. And it just takes a second also to drop back. Yeah. The gross intellect perception of things, the gross intellect functioning, that is what has become so prevalent for self, but also the world operates. No, this is a Pater society, stone intellect society, stone intellect systems, stone intellect interactions. So there needs to be extra attention on the divine intellect usage and perception and perspective. Not the other day, we were crossing the street, somebody showing fingers, somebody pressing the horn, kind of things going on. So it's so easy to get sucked into those emotions. You get annoyed too, and who they think they are, and whatever. Or you just see these beautiful living lights all playing the part. And someone has the duty, no, as an actor to push the horn. Another has the part to show some fingers. But the living lights behind are my brothers. But living light is something that works in my case. It's not just a light, an inert light. It is a being with a definite, it's not even a it. It's not a it, it's a you. The living light is a being, genderless, bodiless, but the real you is genderless. Can you even grasp that? Genderless. Gender is a characteristic of the car, not of the driver. Skin color is a characteristic of the car. Even the present day Iron Age cultures and traditions and systems, they are part of the Tamopradhan role and the sanskars that have been created in body consciousness. They give form to that. That's not the real you. So bring in the detail, fill in the detail based on Murli. So when Baba uses the word soul, what are the different aspects of the soul? What are the different characteristics? When you think of soul, what are the things Baba says about the soul? Eternal, full, need nothing to exist. Because it is needs and then fabricated needs that create impurity. Some sense of emptiness that comes. Then we start to look for things and start to compensate. But when there is the awareness of fully self contained, imperishable, need nothing to exist ever, and fully aware of that, then there is no need or desire, which is the beginning of any form of impurity. So this churning, Baba said, was yesterday in the Murli or day before, emphasizing on churning. We need to do this because study and churning is the preparation for yoga and the method to refine and deepen your yoga and your yoga experiences. Otherwise, it is just like an affirmation. I am a soul, I'm a soul, I'm a peaceful soul, I'm a star, I am a being of light, I'm a soul. Om Shanti, Om Shanti. But it doesn't have deeper meaning. And Baba says in Murlis, and recently he said also, yoga is a separate subject. Study is essential, but what do you do with the things that you study? To grasp it and then to use it to wake up that soul conscious state, that soul conscious awareness. So what else does, because soul, at least in the Western context, this word is quite even a bit boring word. Boring and a bit of an inert feeling. So yes, but what about me? You know, that kind of a thing. No, it's a living being. It is the real you. So what else does soul mean? What was the first one? The first
Eternal, always exist.
eternal, immortal, imperishable, no beginning, no end, timeless. What was the second one? Pure. Okay, next. How do you describe the self?
Always happy.
Yeah, if one is full and pure and timeless, you are naturally happy, naturally joyful, you are whole and complete. So what is there not to be joyful about? So that childlike, innocent joy, regardless, because there's no desires, so no sense of I can be deprived, no insecurities, no anxieties, no fear. So that is where journeying and observing and repeated study comes in. You know this is like that. And to let it sink in, so that in the mind the feelings are being experienced. And then when it sinks in deeper, you become it. And it wakes up also that soul conscious state that is hidden. And uh, the recognition of Baba and the experience of Baba's presence and company goes hand in hand with how much we can experience ourselves as souls. Deeper that goes, further that goes, further, more you also experience Baba's presence, and more you experience Baba, more you understand yourself, more you experience yourself, more you start grasping of Baba. It's like a, okay. So maybe little extra homework today, churning on the soul and all the different, because it's not just some inert point of light. Sometimes Brahmins say this, no, but it's boring, just a point of light, point of light. Yeah, but what Baba would say, one time they said to Baba this, and Baba said, but what is in that point of light? Point of light is just like the first step of introduction. And then later on also the being goes through the different phases of consciousness, gold, silver, copper, iron, confluence. But first get to know what is the eternal and original, real you. Okay, so again, this is part of yoga, repeated reminders, repeating practice of the basics. Get that right. Okay, again. So there is this body and all the stories of the stories and the stories around and drama and objects and different scenes, and the roles. But beyond all of that, behind all of that, it's the only you, the real you. Invisible presence, innately godlike. Peaceful, free. Underneath all these layers of these false identities and body conscious impressions, underneath is that childlike, innocent, free, playful, pure child of God, bodiless, with a nature that is like almost like angelic royalty. Not almost. That's it. And you to see the detail, no, with the mind's eye, the detail of this beautiful being who is so dear to God. This is you. God loves so much that he comes from Paramdham into this old world, old body, to free these angelic souls from the clutches of ignorance and madness, of identifying with a gender or skin or some role or some culture. Free. Shanti. I'll come back to the circus. And how to say, one weapon in the war with Maya is if you make it fun. Don't see this as a practice or exercise or hard Raj Yoga. Or make it fun. This playful living light. Wow. More it is fun, more it is, and then you also don't get into this big tangle if something, whatever, flops out or fun. Boxing with Maya like a sport. Sometimes Maya will, you have to kind of, how do you say, you have to dodge the, yeah, but sometimes Maya will hit, so you bit knockout for a little bit. You catch yourself. What happened? But you have best coach. Destiny is victory. But you should listen to the coach, otherwise Maya will beat you up too much. No? You don't want to get too many beating from Maya. But make it fun. It is, of course, it is not the externalized, extrovert kind of fun, but fun.
Sister Rona, the other day, Baba was saying that for accurate remembrance, we need patience, maturity, and understanding.
Actually, we should have touched a bit on that.
Can you please elaborate a little on maturity, if possible?
Maturity is very much related with this. Today, what Baba said, the Sato Pradhan intellect, the Paras intellect, what is it? Divine intellect. Maturity means there is a certain seriousness because you recognize the importance. It doesn't mean the opposite of playfulness, but it means mature, and you're not, swayed by silly things. You know the importance of the time, importance of what Baba is telling. You're not, you're mature. Just like little children, sometimes they don't see danger. Not sometimes, they don't see danger. Adults know where there is danger and where there's not. So that mature is you be carefree, you be playful, but you also recognize Maya and know the danger of Maya. Don't underestimate the power of Ravan. Okay, let's close for today. Minute of silence. Shanti. But play with these things throughout the day, no? Karma Yogi. This is what Brahma Baba used to do. We can talk about Brahma Baba and we can talk about all his specialities, which is very good and very useful and to know. But he was constantly experimenting and practicing. Every situation he used to churn and to experience and to practice. Every scene of drama he put into that big perspective, ocean, what is it, churning the ocean of knowledge all the time to refine the intellect, to deepen understanding, and to emerge the memory. And he was just so serious about it. Nothing else was more important. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Have a good day, everyone.